In chess, one of the most important openings that you will ever face is the Dutch defense. But what is the Dutch? Before I tell you, look at this position. I'm going to start off the introduction with a few of these teasers. That means these absolutely brilliant moves. I'm going to explain all of them as the video takes place. Look at this very strange journey from the queen. Ready to check the king. So that is teaser 1. Next. Here we've got this brilliant bishop move. So then we go b5 to attack the knight. Here we've got this really cool move, knight to c3. The pawn has come all the way down, take, and then we can take with the queen. White is doing it very well. And then here the queen actually slides onto e3. It looks like it's jumped over the knight, and then we have a great position. So what is this video all about? It will be to show you what the Dutch defense is and how to play against it. I've got many different setups. Let's begin. So this is the Dutch. White goes d4, and then black goes f5. You control a dark square, but black controls a light square. Here we go. So from the top, d4, f5. Now the setup I'm going to recommend is you play knight f3. Black does the same with knight f6, and now g3. There are so many different moves here for black. g6. We will focus on the Leningrad Dutch, one of the best Dutches to play. Bishop g2, bishop g7, and castle, castle. Why do I recommend playing like this from the white side? Because you've already got two defenders in front of your king. And if black is playing in such an aggressive manner with the pawn on f5 already, you need two defenders. That's why so many top players play this setup, the King's Indian attack setup against the Dutch. Here we go. This is the special move I recommend against the Dutch. b4. Now a normal move is actually c4. That's the main line. I could have made a video on this, but I wanted to make this video a bit unique. b4 getting space already. Now look at the black responses. So many green arrows to show. The blue one is the best response. I will show that near the end of the video. But why is white playing pawn to b4? Because you control so many dark squares. Right, first option. Here, black plays a normal move like d6. Why? Because in the Dutch, not only has black got the pawn to f5, black also needs the pawn on e5. And here we go. This is teaser number 1, queen to d3. What a strange looking move. I'm so glad I made this video. Thanks to a chess student for bringing up the Dutch. Queen to d3. We swing it over. We swing it over to give a check, and then the queen is actually very well placed on b3. Black might strike in the center. So now we've thrown a check. The king should move over, and now we can take in the center. Black will not take back because the knight will just recapture. So black plays knight g4. If we take, then the bishop will take the rook. Here are two cool moves. Both lead to great positions. Let's go with the first brilliant move, bishop to g5. We hit the queen. Normally the bishop goes to b2, but really that pawn is a bit annoying. You can't really defend, so why not bishop g5, attack the queen on d8, it goes to d7, and now knight to c3. Look at the blue arrow, it just looks very strange. It kind of looks like I've hopped over the pawn to go to b3. Take. That's a bad move because now look at every single white piece. It's in the game. It's just a brilliant setup for white. I'm so glad I'm shooting this video. Here, white has a great position, every piece in the game. Now, if I go back a little bit, what was another option? It was here. Maybe you don't want to go bishop g5, you just get the knight in the game. Absolutely fine, leading to a great position. Here, take. You can take with the pawn or the bishop, I don't really mind. If pawn is probably the same thing, rook d1, take here, and then bishop b2. Lots of central control. Green, blue, red, just slicing the board. The two bishops control so many diagonals along with the queen. Next chapter. From the top, again, here we go. So b4, and now black plays a different response. So every kind of position here will be from b4, and black has many responses. Black plays the most normal one, d5, striking in the center. It doesn't make any sense now for white to swing the queen over to b3 because the diagonal is now blocked. So now knight to d2. Knight to d2, and there are so many options here for black. But look at the blue arrow, that's the pawn break we want to get in. Pawn to c4, opening up the center. The bishop will come to a3. That was teaser number 2, where the bishop occupies this brilliant diagonal. So let's look at one option. Knight e4, the most normal move in the Dutch. Do not play this. I would say that's an absolute blunder, giving black everything they want. They've got so much pressure on e5, you might block, but then you just play around the knight. The blue arrow shows the knight will come to d7, and this is actually a perfect position for black. Not only will I show you what to do with white, I will show you what not to do with white. That's how opening videos can work on this channel. So let's go back a few moves here. After knight e4, c4. Don't take, because now the knight will just go in the game. No. So here, knight c3, that's a bad move. Black can play other moves like c6, bishop e6, but if they go knight c3, we just go queen e1. The knight has actually made a bad move. Maybe black puts pressure on the center, knight c6, and now we can play e3. But the cool thing is black is attacking this. Now white has a really cool move. Knight b3, defend the center, and you can see the red arrow. It is attacking the knight. It might move back, and now we can attack. The blue arrow is tragic. You will not go back to a starting square. But look at all the green arrows. So much dark square control from white. This is looking really good for white. So the red arrow is actually the best option. Maybe they take. But then the knights come off. Take, take. Do not play this. That's a blunder. Because you just get the bishop in the game. Brilliant bishop for black. Can't do that. So just leave black with double pawns. You just recapture. Now your rook is in the game. Double pawns there. Now bishop e3 looking good. This was what I was wondering before, but just take. Dark square control is perfect for black. For white, I mean. Look at the arrows. Green arrows show queen and bishop controlling so many squares. b4, the red arrow, we can get more space. The yellow arrow, the knight can jump in the game. And the blue arrow, we can hit the queen. Good. Next chapter. Nope. Here. Bishop e3 is a good move. Bishop e6, they attack us. And now b4, lots of control. Dark square control with the green arrows. I love this rook move. Rook to a5, swing over, control dark square, swing the queen over to a1. White has a great position. Next moment. Bishop a3 is the brilliant move. We take it from the top. So b4. And now they go knight e4, normal move. And now we go c4. This looks even more impressive. We just get lots of central space. Now we go. Now here c4, black plays a good move to attack both. Imagine that pawn is back on b3. Let me color that in yellow. Then we don't have that option later. That will be the second to final moment in the video. There's a small difference. I'll show you how to avoid it. Here is the second teaser moment, the second brilliant move, bishop to a3. Why? We can attack the knight. So you can't play e5 because you can take first. Here, take, take. Oh yeah, this is a blunder. Good. Take, take, and then check. Good. Classic trap in the Dutch. Good. So we go back a move here. Black can try something else. d6, block the diagonal. Now e5 is next, but now we just go b5, hit. We can hit. It goes to a5. Knight d2 is a normal move, but queen d3 is better. Remember this cool move. I love creating this video because it forced me to come up with this. And now bishop e6, they might attack us. Normal Dutch moves we can defend with the rook. Let's go rook c1. Black might break open the center with c6, but now we can take. Don't take with the knight. d5 is a threat later, not here, because the bishop will take the rook. So they might take with the pawn, and then knight d2, and then here it's just a normal position. I would prefer white. Let's just go two more moves, and then that's it. Next chapter. d5. Oops, nope. d5, and then here normal move in the Dutch. Take, take, and then put the rooks here. Control lots of files, B and C file, blue arrow, red arrow, the bishop is brilliant, the yellow arrow, stop the knight come in, and then green arrow, we control dark squares. Maybe the knight goes to c4, it's fine. The yellow arrow is actually possible, but then we can just take, put the queen on e3. That move I'm going to show you again later. Next key moment here, what if they play this move, knight to c6, attacking that pawn? Well, I had this position against Tom Rendell in Chess Fest, Trafalgar. In London, there was a friendly tournament held there. Just top players playing against any other players. So knight c6 was played, and in that game I played a3. I've actually got a video on my channel covering this. But imagine if I threw this move against him, queen d3. It's the same trap. Here, if they take, then check. Already the position is looking a bit difficult for black to move. If knight d5, then c4. Hit. And now this position is actually looking really good for white. It doesn't even feel like white is down a pawn. Look at the central control. Blue arrow, the knight can go to c3, bishop a3, bishop f4, a4, a5. We can hit the knight. So this doesn't even feel like he's down a pawn. Careful, do not play check. That I would say is a bad move because the knight can sit here and then they can support. Now it does feel like white is down a pawn. So back to this moment, queen d3, d5, and now queen b3. That is a bad move. Do not play this now because now knight e4, there's some pressure. a5, b5, a4, we hit the queen. That's actually a blunder already because now bishop they can just take in the center. But even this, bishop e6 already, I do not like what I've done. It's just so random. Every black piece is in the game. Both knights, both bishops, this is looking terrible. So do not do this. So in this moment, we need to change our mind. Or else, can you see our queen on d3 is looking silly? You might be thinking William's just done something silly. You go c3. You go pawn to c3, and now you can get space. Queen e3 coming up pretty soon. That's a normal move to put the knight in the center. Now we get space. a4. Normal move. And now, bishop f4. This bishop is better than this. They might go h6 because now g5. Now we go h4. I really like this position. Look at the blue arrow. So much control on both sides of the board, the queen and the king side. Knight d2. Never take. That's what I mentioned before because take back. And then here, we will pause it after queen e3. Really cool. Just sliding the queen over because you see that move before. Mentioned as the teaser, the brilliant move. I have to make it useful, and we can. Queen e3, let's take it from here. Green arrow, we can get more space. Dark square control. Blue arrow, we can go knight b3, b5, destabilize the knight. We can take, we can kick that knight away, and the rooks can go to c1 and d1. Those are the red arrows. This is looking very strong. Next chapter. Now, this is the moment. Let's take it from the top this time. Knight f3, g3, bishop g2, castle. Now, b4 is what I mentioned before. b4 was what I mentioned before. That's quite a funny joke. b3. Black can now go a5. Now this is actually, this can still be okay. Now I'm going to show you why it might not be okay for white pretty soon. c4, a4. Don't want to take, we get double pulls. Knight c3 is actually pretty good. This was teaser number 3 in the first 30 seconds. Knight c3, we just get our pieces out, and after take we have to take back with the queen, and now our position is looking strong. We can actually throw in a check. They might go king h8, and now knight g5. This is looking very strong. Take, we can take back first, and then we still have that check. So you might be thinking, well, what's the difference? Well, I'm just showing you b3. If you forget this fancy move b4, you can still play b3, but just be careful. There's one variation I don't love. That's why I'm showing you here. It's not what we do, but also what we don't do. After b3, d6, bishop b2, normal move. And I think black in these kind of positions, putting some pressure in the center. And also, what's a really good version of the Dutch? It's the King's Indian, because you get 2 pawns in the center straight away. So after c4, knight c6, this is the move that I mentioned as the best move in the intro. Look at the blue arrow. Can you see there's no option now for us? There's no option for us to attack the knight. You might be thinking, well, so what? But now black is putting pressure. You see, we can't go d5 because we lose that bishop. That's the problem. So even though white has more space, black is putting good Dutch pressure against us. Knight c6, now knight d2 is a normal move. We challenge knight, and now here, this is a problem. This is why I don't like this for white anymore. Black can now strike in the center, is now a King's Indian. Black is doing well. You can actually go d5, the game goes on, take, knight e7. You know what, this isn't so bad, but a different way to approach this position is, you know, I was talking about b4 earlier. So here, e5, take, and now black takes in the center. No way will black do this. That's a blunder, because now they get ugly doubled pawns. No way. So very important moment here. Black can take first because it hits our rook. We have to take back, and then take, and this I don't like. Black is now fine with the 2 central pawns. A Dutch has become a King's Indian. Black is fine. Check. It's just one more key moment. You might have seen before, why was there a double blunder? A blunder for the queen is because now white is actually doing well. Lots of pressure in the center. The center is falling. The rooks can come to the c file. So it's just one more key move for black, really. Just slide the king over. Oops. Just slide the king over. Black is still fine. Okay. Fantastic. Job done. Let me know in the comments which was your favorite setup. At the top, there'll be a pinned timestamp labeling every key moment. You guys can always refer to it. Master the best chess opening, your ultimate guide, Catalan opening. This is my top video on my channel, 4,700 views. Master the Queen's Gambit just like Magnus Carlsen, 560 views and growing on this channel. Let me know which video you go to next. Let me know also your favorite moment from this video.